All right, guys, for your part of the experiment, you're going to go ahead and open up a blank document. We are going to save it as into our OneDrive. And I'm going to go ahead and title it period number, whatever period number you have, full name, and then this is activity 8, so act 8 procedures. We'll go ahead and save that. Oh, it doesn't like that I don't actually have a number there. So we'll say, since I, Ms. P, will teach first period only, do period 1. Then I'm going to go ahead and insert in a table. And my table is going to be similar to what we had earlier, if we got that video to work. So 3 by 6. So it says 6 by 3 because it counts the number of rows first, but I want my table to look like that with 3 rows and 6 columns. I am then going to put object material, mass, initial, I'm really bad at spelling, temp of object, initial temp of water. And I'm just using the arrow key to move my cursor over. Final temp of object and water, and change in water temp. So I am actually using the same labels that we used in the first experiment, or the experiment that Mrs. Tuas and I demonstrated for you. But this time, you are going to be expected to write your own procedures. And we are going to highly, highly recommend that. So we showed you with a change in math, with this different materials, okay? But remember that we only change one variable. And so we are going to change mass. So you are going to need to pick the same material and make it different masses. And that's easier to do in the classroom, but we're going to talk about some ways that you can do that as at home. And so you should set up this data table, procedures, and then you actually are going to need to write your procedures out and submit those to Canvas.
You are not doing the experiment right now. Your procedures have to be approved by Ms. Peel and I before you can do the experiment. So when you submit this to Canvas, you should submit a blank data table and a list of procedures.
The only thing you might have in your data table would be the object material that you've picked. So I'm going to minimize this and get the document camera up so you can see what kind of materials we were thinking and how you could do that.
All right, so you are still going to need your 2 cups. So ideally they're foam cups, but you still need those 2 cups. You're still going to need a place for hot water. I used a pencil to hold my materials in the water, but if you don't have string, you can just put them into the water and then maybe use tongs or something to get them out, to put them into your other cup. The materials that we recommend are things that you probably have around your house. So one idea is, because you want to use the same material but different mass, I thought that maybe you could just use 2 different sizes of aluminum foil. And what you would want to do is, this one's about 5 inches long, so I pulled it out about 5 inches. This one's about 12 inches. You want something that's really different in mass, but then please do not just crumple this aluminum foil up. That's going to mess up your data. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your aluminum foil and you're going to want to fold it so that you have as little space in between the pieces of aluminum foil as possible. Okay, you don't have to make it super tiny, but you want it to be really tightly folded. Okay, So here's one of my pieces of aluminum foil, super tightly folded. Here's that other piece of aluminum foil. I made them different sizes when I folded it so that I could tell the difference. If you have the ability to measure the mass, you can do that. So if you've got a kitchen scale at home, you could use that, and we can see that the mass of this one is 1.6 grams or 1.76, and this one is 5.4 grams, okay? But if you don't have a balance or a way to measure the mass, you can just say small and big or small and large, okay? Another way you could do this is if you've got a lot of coins in your house. I took 5 pennies and I taped them together, and I took 10 pennies and I taped them together. You could do this with quarters or dimes or something, but you're probably going to want more than just 1 coin versus 2 coins. So that's why I did 5 and 10. And then this is what I'll be putting into my hot water, waiting 5 minutes, and then transferring to my cold water. Okay? So that's what's different about your experiment. So you are changing the mass, not the material. So you're using 2 different amounts of some kind of material.
I could do like the pencil top eraser and the
Big eraser. Yeah, so you could like take the eraser out of a pencil and do that with one of these guys. These are the same kinds of material, okay? So I could do this and this. If you've got 2 identical plastic toys that your siblings don't care about, you could put one and then you could like break the other one in pieces. Okay, so the same kind of plastic material. You just need 2 differing amounts. All right, but other than that, all your materials are going to be the same. 2 cups, a half a cup measure, thermometer. And if you only have 1 thermometer, you would do this one at a time. You do this one, you put it in the hot water and then put it in the cup. And then you would do the large one. You'll put it in the hot water and then put it in the cup. Okay? So that is what you are writing procedures for, and that is what you are submitting to Canvas for this activity.